We now move on to Dr. Samuel Lee.
Here I am again. I'm asked to talk on holistic mission, especially education and development. Article 26 of the International Declaration of Human Rights says, everyone has the right to education, and education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory, technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on basis of merit. This is Article 26 of the International Declaration of Human Rights. But I want to bring this to our Christian context, because Bible says, my people suffer because they lack knowledge. Christianity is growing. This is known to all of us, growing in the southern part of the world, or in the majority world. And that is beautiful. We are all happy about it. Especially the Pentecost movement has been really touching and affecting a lot of churches in the south. And we are all very happy, and we are very excited about it, and we even romanticize it. We make it we give a romantic view of it. But as a Pentecostal pastor and a sociologist, I am worried about it. People are happy about it, but maybe it's a prophetic word, also voice. I am worried about it, because it's good that we have revivals and growth in the South and in the majority world, but from the other side, we are not only dependent on the Spirit, we also need to depend on the Word, and that's also knowledge. Knowledge. According to Phil Long, president of the Global Action, it says that 62% of the world's pastors have no formal training, and we probably never get any form of training from Bible schools. And Long says a lot of these pastors have less than a 6th grade education. Now, you tell me, will you go to a spirit-filled dentist who doesn't have any diploma of dentistry? If you go there, then I'll pray for you. You see, we often say we don't need the education, we don't need theological education, but actually, theology is the way we look at the world. Many people think that theology is only, reading the Bible, but theology is in everywhere. Theology is in chemistry, because the mind of God is in chemistry. Theology is in physics. Theology is in natural science. So in order for us to get closer to God and to get closer to the world, we also need to have theological training. But unfortunately, in the majority world, we don't have access to this theological education, but also higher academic education. We don't have. Why? Because of the lack of resources, and especially finances. Because education, unfortunately, these days is for the rich, the mighty. It's become actually a luxury. But there are thousands and thousands of people in majority world who are willing to study theology and other academic sciences, but they don't have the chance. And actually, it worries me, to be honest with you. Many people are happy with the growth of Christianity in the majority world, but I am worried because of this, because we lack this theological training and also other. And I think that even it will have fatal consequences, because as I mentioned, the growing Pentecostalism is going to challenge Islam. And the growing Pentecostalism is already challenging Islam in Africa. And both of these Islamic group and the Pentecostal groups, let's say in Africa, because of the lack of proper theological education, the challenge that they do to one another leads to a lot of social conflict, misunderstandings, and even to civil war. And it's going to come. It's already happening in Africa, but it's going to increase more. The religious wars. And it really worries me. Why? For example, right now in Africa and some other non-Western world, lack of religious tolerance, radicalism is growing, fundamentalism is growing, gender violence is growing, witch hunting. Did you know that in some countries, Pentecostal pastors, well, look, I don't want to generalize. Some Pentecostal pastors are accusing little children of being witches. If you don't believe me, Google in the internet the witch children of Africa, and it's a BBC-made program. You will cry to see that. And it's preached from the pulpit. So I believe that what is being preached from the pulpit can play either a destructive or constructive role. Thus, the education of the clergy becomes crucial. So I am a Christian educator. I cannot talk to the Muslim community, but I can talk to my community as Christians. That is why in Amsterdam, with lack of resources, with lack of even financial supporters, I was crazy enough 8 years ago to start a university called Foundation University that says education is a matter of human rights. We offer tuition-free education to migrants. We offer education in theology, we offer education in global science, and we offer education in human rights. And all our professors are from prominent universities in the world, but they heard the calling of God to offer their knowledge free of charge for a student somewhere in the world who does not have access to education. So please take education seriously, support education, especially education in majority world, holistic education, education that deals with, I want to give this example and then I'll stop. We have this school called the School of Integrated Human Rights. We give 9 months program on human rights in Amsterdam. You know what is interesting? All the professors are highly educated Filipinas, women, not men, Filipinas, highly educated in gender, in human rights, and most of our students are African men. So this is very interesting, isn't it? And it's so beautiful. And I just heard the testimony of a Muslim student who is from Sierra Leone. And he says that my uncle called me all the time for money because he needs money. But this man, he always beats his wife, and he has a very low image about women. And he used the money that I sent for wrong purposes. But when I came to the School of Integrated Human Rights, my eyes opened, and I start teaching this uncle through the phone that these things are not right. And I'm not going to send you money if you don't change. And the uncle said, are you listening to the white man message? He said, don't call me anymore. So they had a fight, but he continually teach what he learned at the School of Integrated Human Rights. By the end of 9 months, he gave a testimony. He said this. He said, not only I am changed, but my community in Sierra Leone is changed because my uncle start to realize that he was wrong. And he start treat his wife properly. And even I don't have to send him money anymore because he managed the money he has there, and he has turned into a blessing to the entire community. So this is what education does. And we offer education from Christian perspective, and we offer Christian worldview. So please invest in education. Education is very, very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samuel.